Without a shadow of a doubt, it's got to be 7 o'clock again. And the best in the business is back. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. Say, man, we're going to be Emmy nominated when it's all said and done. I got my co-host, Donovan Sadiq, my good friend, Mr. Demetri K, and I am the 5-star general. And tonight, we got to figure out, is blood thicker than a piece of mind? And if you begging for sex in your relationship, you just might get replaced. I tell you what, it's time to go in. Say, man, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the War Zone. I am one of your co-hosts, the 5-star general. Got my good friend Donovan Sadiq and Demetri K in the building. And once again, thank you for tuning in, because without you, we couldn't do what we do every single day. I can guarantee you that. Very eventful day. We're becoming very, very popular. And it was an honor today to sit on Damian Thaddeus Jones's show and be able to, have some dialogue with another intelligent young black man. And anytime y'all may want us, let us know in advance, and we'll be glad to come and sit down and talk to you. But I'm gonna tell you before we come, you got to put your big girl panties on and your big boy boxers, because we don't bring nothing but the real. I promise you that. So I'm gonna turn it over to Miss K, and she gonna get us started. What's going on, girl?
So hello to everybody. And have some feedback there.
Okay, that might be me.
There we go. Yes. So hello to everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well. And as the general said, I hope you all caught earlier show. It was a doozy. So anyway, someone hit me up and they wanted us to talk about the aforementioned subject. And one of them goes like this. It says, you can cut off some family members. Blood is not thicker than a piece of mind, right? And then the second topic that we've decided to talk about also came to me. And it says, if your man has to beg for sex and a home-cooked meal, you might as well help him pick out his other woman. Oh my God. Okay. So let's go ahead and start off. And then you guys who are watching, please chime in. So let's start off with, you can cut off some family members. Blood is not thicker than a piece of mind. So my interpretation of that is, we always hear how, well, that's your family. You can't help who, who you're born to, and your siblings and this, that, and the other. Oh, you know how they are. You can't cut off your family. And we've all heard that kind of stuff. So this quote pretty much says that you can. And so I want to have a discussion with my co-host and then you all out there in Facebook land. Can you cut off your family members? And is a piece of mind thicker or more important than your family members? Right? We also heard the opposite of blood is thicker than mud. Basically means family is, more important than anything. Well, I'll go ahead and start. And I'll say I totally agree with the adage of you can cut off some family members, because they're not more important than a peace of mind, because often family will, as they say, do it to you the worst, or they'll do it to you the most, right? Because a lot of times family members just take us for granted. Oh, they'll always be around. They're never going to say no. Oh, how about this one? They don't need their money back. I know I borrowed some money from them, but they got it. They living over there in that big old house and got that nice car. They don't need that. And then then it become that little $100 I borrow from. And so oftentimes, family think that we just have to put up with any and everything that they do. And usually in a family, it's that one person who is like getting pulled in every direction, whether somebody's borrowing money, somebody wants you to watch the kids. And, I'm talking about myself now. No. But everybody, has that person, whether it's you in the family, that everybody is just kind of leaning on, and you're stressed out because you really don't have time to do what you want to do, regardless of what that is. And, every time your phone rings, I have family members. Anytime my phone rings, I know they want something. Never, ever, 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 ever are they going to call me and say, hey, I just want to see how you were doing today. I know I haven't talked to you in a while. I love you and I just want to see. Never. When I see their number come up on my phone, I say, they must want something. How much is this going to cost me? What am I going to have to do, right? And so I'm one of those firm believers that, yeah, you can cut off a family member, but I think we also need to define sometime throughout this discussion, what does it mean to actually cut them off? So I'll yield the floor.
Well, I'll agree with that. Sometimes, it does take that, but, isn't it funny? Because, I get all those calls. My light's about to be cut off. Do you think you could? And I had to take Demetra's brother's advice, which is, I'm not in a position to help you right now. You know what I mean? And take that mantra, because, it's funny how when they're buying the Jordans, and and please everybody, I'm not stereotyping, but you guys know what we're talking about. You got the money for the Jordans, you got the money for the weed, you got the money to go to the club, but you don't have the money for the lights or the insurance or the, something that's, important. You don't have that thing. And then you want to come to a person like me. I mean, I worked hard, just as hard for my money as you do yours. Don't you think I need my money? And then when you give it to them, and let's say you give it to them, you loan it to them. It's a loan. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think you need your money back. Huh? What? It's been 6 months. And then Demetra, I tell you, I have a good friend. 2 years passed. 2 years. Never got my money. Never got my money. It's just, and the thing is, we do it to each other, because I guess we feel, it's just like if you rent your house out. You rent it to a relative. They start paying for the first 2 or 3 months. And then all of a sudden they feel they don't have to pay the mortgage or the rent. And you're like, well, wait a minute. What's going on here? So I agree wholeheartedly.
Now, y'all know I'm no nonsense, man. I got one sibling, sister 4 years older. And I actually had to stay with her during the hurricane, the last hurricane. And probably one of the worst mistakes that I ever made. And I told her the day that I left, because I was about ready to punch her sick husband in his pacemaker, running in mouth like he was running it. But I mean, when I come through the door for the hurricane, I dropped $500, went to the store, bought a bunch of food, make sure I'm straight. I'm here, I'm straight, no issues. And just gave me pure hell the whole time I was there. And all I was doing was getting up and going to work every day. I still had to go to work because I worked at grocery supply, and they supply the groceries for all the stores. So we were a very essential, job function for the city. Well, anyway, the day I left, I made a comment, and I've lived by it for the last 2.5 years. When I walk out your house, you will never see me again. You will never see me again. And the conversations, like y'all say, over the years, the only time I get a call is when, they needed something. You know me, I'm very transparent. And I'm not talking bad about my sister. I'm just showing you that I don't have to talk about this because I be about it. Cut off at the gate, at the hip. I'm not giving you no money. You don't call over here to see if I'm doing okay. I'm in the hospital for 23 days. I had surgery. I see you one time. I didn't expect to see you that one time because I know that's not something that you do. So, but it's easy. Realistically, it's easy for me to cut you off because I live by a different way of thinking some days. Sometimes family ain't family, man. Sometimes family is not family. And that's what it is. You are just family as long as you are able to give them your hard-earned money and go through that foolishness with them. Ms. K.
So then I want to ask you all, and you guys are watching, what does it mean to cut someone off? Like, describe what it means, Donovan. What does it mean when you're going to cut a family member off?
For me, it means basically we don't talk. I mean, we're done. I'm done with them. Me personally, I'm done. I mean, you can't divorce your blood family. They're always going to be your family. But as far as me interacting with them, knowing their number, knowing anything about them, I'm done. It's just, that's my idea of it.
Gary?
Me, I'm from the hood. I ain't with you no more. On no level. Don't call me. I won't call you. I'm not coming to your house. Don't worry about coming to mine. And that's what it is. I'm done with you. Just period. It's that simple and that fast.
Well, for me, there's different degrees, but I'll tell you recently, within the last couple of months, I had to cut a family member off for being very disrespectful, talking to me crazy and all of that other stuff after I, opened my home and just done a whole host of things that I did not have to do. And they talked to me really crazy, and I have not spoken to them since. Now, I will say this. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm just one of those people that when you go there with me, there usually is not a point of any return. Now, will I be cordial? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'll do all of that. But as far as, taking it back where we were, we'll probably never do that, because I'm one of those people. I know how to go on with my life and not think about, yesterday. As my dad says, you can't undo yesterday. So for me, when it gets to that point, I have no problem never dialing your number again. You might cross my mind every once in a while, but I'm gonna be all right. And so, when is the last time you all had to cut someone off?
Well, let's see. I think it's been a couple of months. It's been a couple of months. Like I said, when I had to do it, when the market started crashing and stuff, and people started calling me and stuff, and I need this and I need that, I had to really cut ties with a lot of people, because I warned them ahead of time. And of course, fat meat ain't greasy. The white man's ice is colder than ours. So, I had to let them go. I mean, so I've said it's been about a couple months.
I did it during the hurricane. It ain't but two of us. I really kind of cut off years ago at my mom's funeral because, she was the problem child and I was the baby. So I always had to make sure that, everything was straight for mama. And she would give her headaches and problems and, and we in the graveyard and she crying and I couldn't cry. It took me like a month before I could cry. I mean, and she was like, "What we gonna do? What we gonna do?" I mean, and I'm like, "I don't know what you gonna do." I say, "But if it wasn't for that old lady, I'd have cut you loose long time ago." I say, "But she ain't here no more. She can't talk to me no more. So I'm done with you." And I should have been done long before that because it's just, I tried. And it's like now it's nothing that can move me. Nothing that can move me because when I get sick of foolishness, I'm just sick of it and I'm not going to keep doing it. So, as much as I love you, sometimes it's easier just to let them go because they'll end up sucking up your money, causing you a lifetime of pain just because they know they can get to you because they that close to you. So I think that was the last time during the hurricane. And I haven't spoken to her since then. And it sent me 1,000 friend requests. No, I don't want to do nothing with you. Period.
So Donovan, while I ask this next question, just see if somebody, you see some comments or something you want to bring up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you all think there is a point, like there's something we can do before it gets to that point? Can we see the writing on the wall before we cut them off? Like, is there something we could have done? Perhaps maybe been more affirmative and said no, because for me that's what it is. It's saying no instead of saying yes when I know better. That's where I get into trouble with people. Being a little bit too good-hearted. I don't even know if that's a word or a thing, to be too good-hearted So do you think there's a chance or a part where we could have like stopped all of that before we actually cut the people off? Was that in our control?
Donovan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I never thought about stuff like that, but I don't know. I pass on that one. I got to think about that.
I don't. You get warning signs. You get warning signs. You definitely see, because the thing is, you always hear me say snakes don't change. So by the time you get frustrated and you dealing with it to the point where you about to cut it off, that means you done dealt with it before. You done dealt with it several times. And just some types of behavior, all of us have a cutoff point with BS, man. All of us have a cutoff point. And, yeah, you see it coming. That's why I said I saw it coming before the hurricane. It were things that happened. I mean, my mom passes away. I'm out of town coaching youth football, trying to make it back. My friend called, man, I'm going to bring some money to the house. He brings the money to the house. My niece is not there to get it. You know how folks do when folks pass away. They bring money to the house. My mama raised all them boys I grew up with. So, man, bring $500 to the house. My niece calls me. I'm just finishing the game. My niece called me. Uncle, I don't know what mama did, but I know she took that money that Kevin brought and she went to the club with it. What you mean she went to the club with it? I deal with that when I get home. I get home, where that money Kevin brought? What money you talking about? I say, so you mean to tell me that you don't even know if I got enough money to put your mom in the ground and somebody brings some money around here and you take it and you go get drunk with it? That should have been the cutoff point. You see what I'm saying? But I gotta give my mom a funeral. No, I gotta take care of all this for her. This ain't my time for me to do whatever. But I'm gonna tell you, and this siblings, I don't care if y'all get mad. That's the day my hands got bisexual. So you gonna shit on your mama? You gonna take that money and shit on your mama? Maybe that's why I didn't cut off, because I had to spank her ass, because mama would never spank her ass no more.
And it's funny that you say that, because a lot of us come from big families. I come from a super big family in this town that isn't more than 100,000 people. And, I'm on Facebook, and you see them doing any and everything, going to the club, taking their kids to Six Flags, and they're doing all that stuff. And then somebody passes away, and I live in California. How did my number get included? I'm not even invited to the family reunion. So when somebody dies, I gotta put my money in the hat, in the plate.
Man, let me tell you something. You ain't gotta wait till somebody die, man. All you got to do is wait until the kids get out of school. They gonna ball all summer long. They gonna shoot threes from the parking lot with $100 bills all summer. Soon as it's time to buy them school clothes, they blowing up your phone. They blowing up your phone. They ain't got look. I need a little help, and man, I ain't got no money, man. I ain't got no kids in school no more. I ain't got no money for you. And don't wait till it's time for graduation and prom. You become their best friend. But the whole year they being irresponsible. They good with you as long as you cool with them being irresponsible. But as soon as you say, I'm cutting you off, it becomes a problem. So yes, I will cut your ass off in a heartbeat. I'm not even trying to hear it no more.
Belinda says, by the time you decide to walk away, you've already been used, abused, lied to, manipulated, and a whole lot of other messes. You know what? I co-sign that 100%. Usually people who are doing the cutting off, I think Gary said it's because you just been taken to the limit, to the point of no return. And it's like, you know what? Enough. I don't care if I ever see you again. I love you, but I'm good with not seeing you again. I'm good with not crossing paths with you. You've done way too much, and I'm good. And like you said, usually it's cost you a lot of time. You can always get money back, but it's cost you time, trauma, drama. And so, yeah, I mean, most people have already, been through the bullshit, if you will.
All right. Well, I got a question. When does it become everybody else's responsibility to bury your mama or your daddy? If there's 3 or 4 brothers and sisters, sometimes there's 6. Because I look at it this way. I come from a big family. If my mom, God forbid, passes tomorrow, that falls on me and my brother. I'm not going to be out there asking anybody else for anything because we got insurance on her. We're thinking ahead of the game. But
say, man, I mean, when you need to be responsible, you're gonna be responsible. Like I tell y'all, man, I'm a licensed insurance agent. Family is family. I get it. And I kept telling the family, look, I can license myself in the state of Louisiana. I think it costs $50. I can come down there. We can set up some because we got a really big family, and we can set up some. And we need to make sure everybody got some insurance. Oh man, we ain't doing that. A month later, somebody died. I'm telling y'all what happened. Somebody died. And here go the phone. Bring. Hello. Man, there's somebody that died. And man, we got to pick up money. Well, y'all need to get to it. Well, man, we selling fish place. You going to come down here? I don't think I need to drive 3 hours to buy a plate of fish. I told y'all that we needed to do that. That was God telling me to let y'all know something was coming. You didn't want to take heed. Say, man, figure it out. Let me know when the funeral is, man. I come through. But it's levels to the cutting off. Because normally money is what's gonna make you cut off the money first. And then after the money, you're gonna cut off the relationship. Because the money gonna make you cut the relationship off. You see what I'm saying? So it's all, to me, maybe not in your world, but to me, in my world, it always starts with the money.
And to your point, Al says a lot of times, wait, let me see that comment. I says, you won't see fake family members until someone dies. And that is so true. My grandmother on my mom's side, she passed, and oh my God, it was like, I didn't even know you were still alive. Just people just coming out of the woodworks. And normally, that's for people to come try to ransack the joint, which is what they tried to do. And so it's like, wow. Didn't see you at all.
Yeah, and let me give some advice to some people who might not know this. If a loved one happens to pass, the first thing you should do is secure their home and their belongings, because there's going to be that aunt that's going to come there and take all the pictures and take all, you know what I mean? Just secure it. And then when the family gets together, they can work everything out. But a lot of people don't know that. And next thing you know, the house gets looted and you don't know what's what and what's happened. So just remember
that. No, absolutely. I mean, so there's obviously levels to cutting people off, but I say at the end of the day, you do what's best for you. You do what brings you happiness. If you're around a family member, since we're speaking of family members, you're around a family member and they're not bringing you peace, or they're robbing you of your peace, you are within your rights to cut them off. Say hello every once in a while if you see them in passing at the grocery store or whatever. But because we all have relatives that just always got something going on, drama, just whatever. Yes, to Donovan's point, they dig in your pockets all the time and all of the above. But at the end of the day, you should always do what's best for you. You don't have to ask anybody's permission. Don't let anybody guilt you when they're thinking, Al made a point earlier. Well, I've actually spoken to Al a lot. He doesn't go around his family much, but it's because it's been a whole lot of drama and trauma and just nonsense, being involved. And so they always say, well, why don't you don't come around, you don't come around, you don't come around. It's like, well, have you ever asked yourself why I don't come around? You're like, why I don't come around. What you want me to continue to come around so you can continue trying to, act silly with me and, this, that, and the other. So it's like, you don't owe anybody an explanation as to why you are doing what you're doing. If I'm not costing you anything, don't worry about me. If I'm not asking you for nothing, don't worry about me. Now, the other thing I will say is, before you cut somebody off, I think we should say, hey, you know what? About had it, or however you're going to put it. Me and you about not to be speaking no more. And try to hash that out. Now, if you can't do that, then hey, do you?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't give them a warning. I'm done. I'm when I'm not answering that phone no more and you suddenly disappear from social media, you already know what it is, man. You know, you may be trying to figure out what did I do wrong. I don't have to tell you, you know what you did. I'm a pretty simple guy. You know what you did. So, you know, I agree with you on everything that you're saying. It's just some days it's better just to let them go. It'll stop you from being hurt, you know, emotionally. You know, this emotional attachment that you have is the reason that they're able to siphon your money up out of you. They know your weakness. You see, we can put our guards up on a stranger and keep them at bay, but the ones that's closest to you are the ones that get you. So, you know, and my thing is I give everybody a shot. But if and I'm just using it for example, not saying that happened, but if you my sister, when I cut you off, I'm cutting your grown ass kids off too. I'm not dealing with none of y'all no more, man. Donovan.
Oh, exactly, exactly. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate, when it comes to that. But I have, relatives that are mad at my mom. My mom is the oldest of her clan, and so they get mad at her. And then you're on Facebook one day, and next thing you know, I've been deleted off the whole page, and I don't even know what happened. So but when that happens, how many of you guys get those people they delete off Facebook, and then a couple months later they add, and then they delete again? No, I'm not doing all that. Once you're gone, you're gone. So no, absolutely. Like I said, it's a cleansing type situation when you just got to distance yourself from all the madness. And I have a lot of female cousins. I mean, true story. Demetri will tell you this. This is a true story. I was doing a family tree, and I said, okay, well, let me get the names of the father. You don't need to know that. Done. We can't even complete the family tree. We can't even complete the family tree. So I was done. I was done.
Or you're trying to say something?
I've said it all on mine. You know, it doesn't. I can't do foolish. Some things I can let go, but it from a family member I expect more. So it's just at that point I'm just gonna cut you loose and I'm going on. I'm moving on. I don't have the time for it. I just don't have the time for it. So that's where I'm at on it.
I percent agree with you. So y'all want to transition to the next topic?
Let's go.
All right. So let me get the question. So the next topic is if your man.
And these questions come from our guests, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay, so this one says, if your man, so I guess this is speaking to the ladies. So ladies, let's get in our little huddle here. It says, if your man has to beg for sex and a home-cooked meal, you might as well help him pick out his other woman. I'm going to let y'all, gentlemen first on this one.
Wait, read that question again, because I want to really think this out.
You scared? It says, if your man has to beg for sex and a home-cooked meal, you might as well help him pick out his other woman.
Absolutely. 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 I mean, what you won't do, somebody else will. I mean, men are very, and this is my opinion, men are very simplified. I mean, we're almost Neanderthalish. If your man ain't got no food, he can't go to work to provide. Yes, we like to procreate. There's something in our brain and stuff that makes us do that. So if you're not doing any of those things, why do we have you?
What's the most that we ask for? What's the least that you have to do? If I work 16 hours a day, I want to eat. I don't think I got this big eating peanuts, by the way. So, you know, if you messing with me, okay, if I work all these hours, I'm busting my behind, the least you can do is cook me a meal. And as far as sex, you don't get to hold yourself for me. If I'm married to you, you don't get to hold yourself for me. I ain't asking you for it. But I'm definitely ain't finna beg you for it. So if you want to hold yourself, crack the door. Let's get it in. If you want to hold yourself, crack the door open. Let's get it in. Because I am not about to walk around here with the crouch of my pants looking like I got two big ass oranges down there because I'm swole up.
Okay. Well, Donovan, please see some comments if you see something in there. I'm going to just say this. Anybody who knows me, I just like to deal in the gray area because I don't always think things are black and white. Some things are, but a lot of things aren't. And I think this is one of the things that's not black and white. If let's say I was a man, okay, and I was with a woman who wasn't cooking for me or was not having sex with me, right? First of all, are we both out there working, busting the hustle and all of that? That's one thing I want to know. Other thing I want to know is, why isn't she having sex with me? Why am I hearing more no's than yes? Okay. Is it something I'm doing, something I'm not doing? Because I'm telling y'all from a woman's point of view, if a woman does not want to have sex with you, if it's not hormonal or something like that, so let's get all that out the way, it's probably something you're doing or you were not doing. What can you possibly be doing? Maybe you weren't doing the things you did originally when we first got together. We know how we get when we get together. Ooh, I love you. Ooh, all that. You ain't doing that no more. Or maybe you getting that thing around with somebody else. And I'm going to tell you from a woman's point of view, I don't want you hopping up and down in me if you hopping up and down in somebody else, because you might give me something I can't get rid of. And then I'll be doing a bid on Cell Block H for killing you. Okay. If I'm not. So we have to ask why. Because there's usually a why, whether it's the why belongs to me or the why belongs to the man. There is a why somewhere. Maybe I got a boo thing myself. Maybe I'm interested, and I'm just putting it all out there. Maybe I have something else on the side I'm attracted to, somebody, because women are like built that way. I know for the most part, when we get fixated on another man, the one we with is, I got a headache and I'm going to have one 2 weeks from now because we're just not feeling you. So there's a whole host of things going on with that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Right. But, but there are some women that use that to manipulate. And don't get me wrong, that's a woman's nature to manipulate the man, but it's supposed to manipulate me to do great things, not make me mad and frustrated and, I'm going to go get this other chick. So Corliss said, what do you do? What happens when you cook, clean, and screwing him, and they're still cheating? Demetra?
Well, I'm the woman on the panel, but I would say that is not the flaw of the woman. That's usually, and that we're speaking in terms of men and women, that's usually a character flaw with the man. If he's got all those things at home, you could be making him sirloin steak every night, shrimp, whatever his favorite meal, and bending it over backwards and hanging from the chandeliers. It will never have anything to do with you. That's just who he is. And I would say, just for me, I'm giving advice to Demetra, I would not be with somebody like that. If I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing and he's still out there doing that, the first time is his fault. The second time is my fault because I know he's out there doing that. And I just think that a man, you can't make a man not want to cheat. That's got to be something he wants to do. Ain't nothing you could do or say to make him stop cheating. That's a personal decision that he has to take full ownership of.
Well, I'm gonna say this here. We quick to throw the cheating aspect out there, and I get that. So I'm gonna rock with the brothers on this one. So sometimes you just got a selfish ass woman who got in the game just to get your money, used her body as a means to get it. So now you live comfortably and you do all that. Oh, I don't have to fucking no more. Oh, yes, you do. You're gonna put a hump in your back like a Halloween cat to get my change. And that's what it is, man. So, as much as we can scream that they cheat, and I get that, but there are just some people that walk through the door with a plot. So now you don't feel you have to use your body anymore. You marry this man, he goes to work every damn day, he busts his behind. Okay, and then you don't want to take care of your business? Okay, well, don't get mad when he cheats. Because if you're married and you don't submit to your husband, you're creating this problem. You are allowing this to manifest. And it doesn't have to be marriage. You can be just together. Because nowadays a lot of people are they're not married, but they're together for a while. So if you ain't taking care of your business, then don't get mad when somebody else do.
So again, that goes back to a why. There's always a why, whether the why belongs to him or the why belongs to her. You see what I'm saying? It's never really just, I just woke up one day and I just felt like I didn't want to cook for you. I didn't want to have sex with you. Or I woke up one day and I decided to cheat or whatever. There's usually a reason. And I'm not saying there's always a good reason, but there's usually a reason. And I would just say this, it is true. I don't think I can make you cheat. I think I can maybe put it on your mind. But if you stop, and I'm speaking from a woman's point of view, you stop having sex with your man and it's not no other stuff going on. I ain't talking about the bullcocker. But if he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing and you stop having sex with your man and he's made that apparent to you, listen, I want to get some every once in a while, and you tell him no, then it's like, even for you got some of you guys who go to church, it tells you do not deprive each other too long of sex because you'll make them wonder. People are human. People have needs. And so if as a woman, you sending your man out the door and you ain't fed him or him, and you keep doing that, pretty soon, big booty Belinda out there, she starts looking good. She's smelling good. She's saying it right. She might not be saying nothing, but at least she's talking to him. And in his mind, he has maybe the possibility that I'm going to get some because I know I ain't getting none at home. Matter of fact, she ain't even going to know I'm doing it because she's not even paying attention to me like that.
But,
like Al Jackson just said, it's difficult to have sex on an empty stomach.
Exactly. But no, here's the thing, and I'm not saying all ladies fall into this category, but this does happen a lot in relationships. Okay, you guys meet up, you guys are both, in your prime, you're doing everything great, you get together. In that get together, then a baby comes. Now, all of the attention that was on the male is now on the baby. And then, he's like, oh, come on, I got to go get the baby. I got to go do this with the baby. I got to go get this for the baby. Or even after that, you got the kid, or she's not that the gravity starts bringing the booty down, and then she becomes a little bit unattractive, or she isn't doing those things to keep herself looking the way you want her to look. And that happens a lot in relationships. And I'm not saying, and it happens to men too. We get the bellies and all that other stuff. So we're not exempt either. But a lot of us fall prey to those situations, but especially the women, that are kind of younger in their childbearing years. They put all the attention on the child, and then they forget they still have spousal or partner duties that they should be doing.
Well, then you got that, and then you got the lack of time aspect. Where all of a sudden your mate is not important. You're running the streets with your girlfriends all the time now. You're on the phone with your little messy friends now. They seem to know what's going on in our house more than we know what's going on in our house. So we end up arguing more than we end up screwing each other. So, it's a lot of attributes. It doesn't just have to be cheating. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't just have to be cheating. But then there's the tricking aspect. Now, when I say tricking, people think you're talking about messing off money. No, it's the tricking aspect. See, the pandemic then showed a bunch of people, men and women, that you got tricked. And now you don't want to sleep with this person because when you roll over in the morning, see, when you was rolling over in the morning before she was up, she was in the bathroom, she was getting ready, she was gone. Looked like superstar. But now the pandemic got you home with her all the time. So when you roll over in the morning, she look like Herman the Monster. You get to see the real her. Now I'm telling you the truth. You done tricked me into this. Them waist trainers and all that. Now I get to see the truth. And now it might be the man that don't want to sleep with you. Because you look like you jumped up out of a jack-in-the-box.
All right.
Demetria, does that sound familiar? Have you heard that somewhere else before?
I personally haven't had that because I don't do none of that. What y'all see is what you get. Okay.
No, but haven't I said some of the exact same things?
Right.
When I deal with the weeds and stuff, that's what I'm talking about. Who is this person? I bring you home, I think you're a certain person, then all of that stuff comes off, and then you're somebody else.
Say, man. You don't even realize that you some days. I mean, I'm looking at some of these pictures of regular people that I know right now on social media. I ain't look like that at the function. I mean, look like some of these people need to be trick-or-treating over the phone. I'm dead serious, man. They really need to trick-or-treat over the phone, man. But this is what you got to wake up to every day. This is what you go to bed to every day. You know, when I see you, them things sitting up here. Now you're in the pandemic, they down on your knees like a pit bull. I don't want to lay up next to that every night. I'm just telling.
Right now, pit bull is a sensitive subject for me. Listen, I think especially as we get older, most of us are approaching, around 50. I'm 49. Y'all in your 50s. I think it's safe to say, none of that stuff lasts forever. And I get it. Men are very visual, but come on now. I think sometimes y'all have some very unrealistic expectations of women.
Not realistically. I mean, when you put on them certain pairs of jeans and that thing just sitting up and it just looks so good. And then at other times you walk around the house with your sundress on and you got more potholes in your ass than they got in the streets. Something ain't right. That ain't sexy.
Or them stab wounds start showing.
All right now, goddammit. All right. Hold on now. I want to believe y'all joking, but I mean,
it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Women don't want to see, us looking not our best too. So I mean, the pandemic has exposed a lot of stuff.
Okay, I would just say this. Y'all men, I'm gonna take y'all word for it, because I'm not like one of those women that like to say, "Nah, that ain't true." I take your word for it. So I would just say, as women, because we got our critiques about y'all, but in fairness, I'll address you guys' issue. I think we should do our best to be decent. Now, I'm not saying you got to run around the house like they do on the soap operas with ball gowns on and your hair done to the, all of that. I would just say at least look like you took a bath that day. And it might not be too much to ask to swoop your hair down if it's sticking up like a troll dog, whatever. Make it, because at the end of the day, men are visual creatures. And if men are telling us what they like within realistic expectations now, okay, because everybody can't look like Nicki Minaj unless you got about $100,000, okay? Now, if they telling us what they like, I think we should at least meet them, come pretty close, right? Because we want them to be attracted to us. And I as a woman, I'm not going to be attracted to no man who don't look like he took no bath and he got the same clothes on all day.
Wait, Demetria, the homeless look is in. The homeless look is in. I mean, I see some beautiful sisters out there with brothers that look like they slept on the bench for the last 2 weeks. And they think that, you're like, how did she end up with this dude? And, I don't know if it's just a fad in the style or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. We see it out here in California all the time.
I mean, I just think everybody has a personal preference. But if you know what your man like, And what they say, whatever you did to get your baby hooked, you're gonna have to keep doing that for the most part. You know, and I agree with you. A lot of times, just as women, you know, we do wear the hair, the nails, the eye color, eye contacts, and the waist trainers. And then, you know, when we get comfortable, we don't do any of that. I mean,
yeah.
that's
don't do nothing like that. Look like you've been climbing a tree all day long, and that is not sexy.
I just know as a woman, y'all wilding, okay? I mean, as a woman, I want to try and look my best for my man all the time. Some days we have our days you just don't want to, you know, do all of that. But for the most part, I think we should. I think we should try to be visually appealing to our man. Now,
well, you can't trick him then. Remember, when he came through the door, you was doing this every day. And now that you got him, okay, I ain't got to do it no more.
Well, no, I think it's fair to at least do some of it. You know, I'm not gonna be dressed like I was in the club at the house, but I'm gonna look good because I want, for one, I want to look good for myself, and I want to look good for my man because I know, regardless of where he's been, whether it's Walmart work or whatever, he's probably seen 100 women who took the time out. And this is advice I got from my dad. He's probably he's running into a whole bunch of women who fine, they smell good, they look good, and hey, how you doing? And then he got to come back home to me, and I ain't even put no water to my face. That's eventually gonna be a problem. Now, I'm not saying do all that for a man who ain't no good or who ain't acting right. You know what I mean? You probably shouldn't be with him no way.
You've been around, you've been out all day. You've been, you know, if your man selling dopey in the clubs, he doing all that, he around all these women. And then he got to come home and then walk through the door. Oh my God, I was all day. What? What you talking about? Just walking into the house to a wolf. A wolf. And then you don't want to give me none. You can keep that wolf. That's what you can do.
You know, and you got to think about this too, ladies. I'm just speaking as a third party male out there. I get tired of seeing some of my friends, wives or whatever, you know, because you're the representative of your man. You're the representative. You know, I had a friend that was like, "Oh, it don't matter, whatever." You know, I don't like somebody looking at my woman. I want somebody looking at my woman and saying, "Man, that's a bad chick." You know, I want these guys to want her, but don't go to Walmart in your damn pajamas and the rollers in your head, knowing everybody knows you in the neighborhood. And then you're teaching the daughters to do the same damn thing because, you know, it's like, this isn't the same beautiful woman I saw at the function last week. But she got the flip-flops on.
No woman is going to come out of the house looking like that anyway.
I agree. I mean, I'm just saying, I agree with that. Now, you know, I try not to really go there because I know a lot of people take exception to those type of things. I should be able to wear what I want, blah, 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 blah. True. You should be able to do what you want. But if your man or your woman, whoever it is telling you, listen, I don't really like the homeless look, or I don't like that you wore those pajamas. As they said, I saw a meme that says, you got to wear the same dress outside that you frying chicken in. Okay, that is not a turn on to me. Because I think in a relationship, we should be honest with each other. Yeah, I love you, but I don't love you in that. I'm not attracted to that. Hey, honey, you think you could come to bed without some sweats on tonight? You know, or you wrapped up in Muslim garb all the way, you know, come on, man, really?
I don't think that you should be able to wear whatever you want to wear. All right, you can wear whatever you want to wear, but there are times that you shouldn't wear it. You know, one of my pet peeves, especially for African American women, is I hate this. I don't care who it is, how they look. You could be Nikki, you can be whoever. I just don't like it. When you wear, like, I see a lot of medical people. So when you wear white scrubs with multiple colored panties, if I'm saying that right. No, I'm dead serious. With the polka dots and all that. Man, you can't do that. That is, no, I'm sorry. And big girls, everything don't fit. You look like you're trying to cut your circulation off. Everything don't fit. I'm just sorry. But then remember, you got to go home to him. And you walking into the house to a Mr. Potato Head dog.
Well, really, they're saying statistically 70% of Black women do not get married. And yet 70% of white women do get married. I mean, let's look at that number. I mean, it's obvious we're dating and hanging out and shacking and all that other stuff. But what I want to know, ladies, is maybe it's not you guys, but what is it to where these young girls rather be a single mother than, get married? What is that?
I don't know if anybody would. I mean, there's some people who would rather be a single mom, but you know what I always say? You cannot have a single mama without an absentee daddy. That goes both ways. And so while we ask these women about being a single mom, I think we also, I said also being an operative word, need to ask these daddies, why aren't you staying in a relationship with these women that you are making babies with? For me, it's always
right, but there are but there are some girls. I mean, you could talk to them. A good example. I have a niece. I said, well, why aren't you guys getting married? You got this baby, whatever, whatever she's doing. I don't want to get married. I don't want. So you're going to bastardize the child. And she's like, and
some people don't want to be married. That's her choice. She does not want to be married for whatever reason. If it ain't coming out your pocket, it ain't costing you no time. What can you do? You know what I mean? I know as a, you would rather.
Well, unfortunately, it is coming out of my pocket. It is costing me time. It's called taxpayer dollars because that's where she's going to get that support. Now, her choice in men, totally against what she was raised to deal with, because if you're on this level, you don't go to this the bottom of the sea and get you a sea urchin. But that's what she did. So, it does cost me time and money.
Al is a whole fool, first of all. But I mean, we can go on forever, but I'm just more or less like, it's costing you your tax dollars. Why don't you get on the daddy's head who ain't helping her take care of that baby financially?
Why don't we figure out why they can't be in the same house? It ain't just the dude just leaving and he the worst person because he left. I mean, it's hell living with some of these people, man. I mean, it's arguments all day long. Is this, is that? I mean, and then you got to look at the root cause of why they're not together. It could be the man's fault. It could be the woman's fault. It could be whatever. It could be money, lack of money. You see what I'm saying? Because you come through the door like you balling out the gym. You're buying bottles in the club and don't have a clue. They done went got their last check from their job to do that. So you fell for the okey doke. That's why I'm telling you about the tricking aspect of it. A lot of times we fall for the visual. And then once we hooked up with them, it ain't what you saw. So, that in itself make people leave. But my thing is I try to talk to people all the time. I mean, I don't believe you need to have no kids if you ain't gonna get married. That's just the way I feel about it. Because then of course if you don't say that again, I mean if you don't stay together, then we got this situation where a lot of times co-parenting doesn't work. Demetri.
So I think to your question, we need to figure out why people don't stay together. It's because lately, in the last couple of decades, I would say, we haven't been taught to stay together, and we just need to learn how to coincide with each other. I follow Shahrazad Ali. For you guys who don't know who she is, Donovan's hero. She wrote the book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And she outlines it perfectly, and she says, and just from a woman's point of view, a lot of times women always got to have the last word, and she says, for men, y'all not going to out-argue no woman, especially no Black woman, because we know how to whoop, 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 you this, whoop, whoop, we tear everything out the frame, right? And so it's really a matter of communication skills. Another thing that's missing within our community, and probably a lot of other communities, but we're speaking about the Black community, is we don't believe in roles anymore, if that makes any sense. That ain't my job.
In your position.
Exactly. And I think that's a better way to say it. We don't play our position anymore. But again, there's a lot of other reasons to it. Like, if you expect for me to come home, cook, take care of the kids, keep the house clean, and screw you on top of working an 8-hour job, I'm probably not going to feel so frisky. However, if you out there and I'm at home and I'm allowed to make the house a home and do all those things for you, yeah, I'm going to probably be jumping your bones when you come through the door. And so that's another thing. We don't have positions anymore, right? And nobody really knows their roles. A lot of times people say, well, gender roles are antiquated. That's old fashioned. That's what they used to do. We don't do that no more. But it's like, well, yeah, we don't, especially Black women. And I'm not saying it's our fault, but we don't have a man in the home like our mamas and our grandmamas used to have a man in the home. So
while we going through all that, women, and my pastor, when I was in church, even spoke on this one Sunday. Y'all dirty. See, when you don't want to give us no sex, you make sure you walk around the house naked or half naked. You make sure that you put your panties on in front of us. You like to torment us. You don't marry me, because I ain't taking no shit, and I'm going to get that ass when I want it. I'm just telling you straight up. Y'all dirty, man. And tip, ain't a woman on here can't tell me she ain't did him like that. Come on, Demetri, you ain't did him like that. You were mad at him, and you still hung the bra over the shower curtain. You purposely had to get dressed in front of him, but you ain't give him none.
I'm gonna tell y'all this.
A mother would I go get me some?
I'm gonna tell y'all this. Just since we're being transparent, there's no man that I've been with who would tell you that I've told him no until he got the tricking off or doing something else. Cause I get it. The more I tell you no, I'm leaving an opportunity for somebody else to tell you yes. That's not been my thing, because I'll be wanting to do that too. I'm just speaking of myself, but for women, it's mental. For me, it is. It's mental.
So when he cheated and you told him no, I still say women dirty, because y'all still gonna get dressed in front of them. Y'all gonna do all that. You ain't with no other room. Y'all know what y'all do, man. Y'all know. Some days I'd rather mess with that cat.
If we doing stuff like that and we know you cheated, that's on you that you can't get the goods. You can look, but you can't touch. That's on you that you removed yourself from being able to enjoy this. It's not my fault. If we sharing a room at the time, I should be able to get dressed whether you in there or not. But you need to check that's your situation, check yourself and figure out why you ain't getting the draws.
Okay, so just remember, I'm an old school hustler. For those out there that's riding with that, the coochie is free, but the crack costs money.
And you know what? The coochie ain't always free, because that coochie might pop out a baby or something you ain't gonna be able to get rid of that you can itch and can't scratch. All this
twerking and busting it open. You better bust it open. You know I'm a freak when I come through the door. When I came through the door, I told you I was a freak. So if you want to hold it from me, then that's what it is. You already know what it is at that point.
I think also men need to realize that women are more than just booty and coochie and titties. There's more to us than that.
And I think we do. But if we're married, you don't get to hold yourself from me. I don't care if you're mad or not.
I can hold myself from you if you ain't giving me all that I require. Because yes, men are physical. Y'all want to eat and kind of be left alone. Great. I'm going to do all of that. But are you giving me what I need? This ain't no concubine situation. This is a give and take. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here. I ain't went nowhere. Like I say, Gonna do what I gotta do. You ain't cooking. You ain't doing what you supposed to do. Then it is what it is. I mean, holding yourself, and people do it. It's not the cheating. I'm just talking about you might just have an argument over something simple, and then all of a sudden you can't have sex.
Now that's silly. If a woman,
no, that happens.
Wait. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that doing something like that to your man is silly. Y'all having an argument over something small and it blows up to like napalm and it becomes bigger than it's supposed to be, and you withholding the sex. I'm gonna tell you, I learned from the old cats, because a lot of people I learned from were older men. And one of my male friends told me, he said his fiance at the time tried all of that. You didn't take out the trash. You didn't do this. I'm not gonna give you no sex. So he said after a while he was taking the trash out and doing all of that. Then he was like, wait a minute, I'm grown. I'm not doing nothing to you. So he said it came a time where he was like, I'm going to the grocery store. And he said he went to the grocery store quite a bit. And that grocery store was somebody else's grocery store. And he said he let her think all that was working. Oh, I didn't take out the trash. Okay, fine, whatever. I guess you ain't gonna give me no sex for 2 weeks. Okay, you know what? I gotta go to the store. So if you with somebody that's doing that, then that could be kind of annoying, to say the least.
Now, wait a minute, Demetra. I've known you for over 30 years, and you know I got the real story from Mr. Moses. I got the real story. Why y'all did not end up together.
you want that's like some lifetime stuff. Okay, we don't have time for that. But no, so I think really at the end of the day, we just need to do our part. You know, if you know your man like a certain thing, and I had a conversation with a friend a long time ago. She's like, I don't know why men are we getting, I guess it's after 5. She says, I don't know why men won't, and I'll clean it up. They want oral sex. I don't know why. That's nasty. I don't know why they want. I said, listen, what you never gonna do is convince a man that likes that he shouldn't do that. I said, if you don't want a man who likes wants that done, or don't be with a man who wants that done, because there's a lot of men out there who don't care for that. Get with you a man who's not necessarily big on that, but you're not going to make him the bad guy because that's what he wants. I said, there's women like you that would get with a dude trying to change his mind, and then 2 weeks or so in the relationship, however long it takes, he asks you for that. That's nasty. I want to do that. And then you find out he is weak and he goes out there and gets that done for somebody else. I mean, it's like he told you that in the beginning. I mean, I don't really know where to go with that.
Well, what I think and at the end of the day is, sex is an important part of a relationship. Now, when I was younger, it was 95% of the relationship. And then as I started getting older, it started getting lower and lower and lower. So, I'd say for me, it's like 25, 35% of the relationship. Because at our age now, you really want a partner that's going to be there. Because let's face it, you guys, we're coming down the hill. We long ago had hit our top, and now we're starting to go down the hill. So you want to go down there with a partner. I mean, it's really sad when I see these older folks and they're by themselves. And because they're by themselves, they're in it, they're in their grandchildren's lives, which is okay, but it's like they're putting that undue burden of their care and somebody looking out for them on their children and so on and so forth. So I made it a cause not to be in a situation like that. And I'm just looking for that, that partner. As Demetra will tell you, I've had some beautiful women in the crib. I've had them, but I had to let it go because it's more than the beauty and the booty and all that other stuff. I mean, when the woman was taking out my pockets, I had to let it go. So, find you guys somebody that's, here's what my dad used to say. One of his very few sayings. Find somebody as screwed up as you are and be happy.
Final thoughts, Miss K.
My final thoughts are, my dad has always told me, be true to yourself, regardless of what that is. If you are with somebody who is not doing the things you like, Go be with somebody who is going to do the things you like. Like, I'm at the point, I'm almost 50. Well, not quite, but I'll be 50, my next birthday. And life is too short to be with people who don't fully want to be with you. Life is too short to be with people that you got to argue with over silly stuff. Life is just too short. Like, we should, especially when you become a certain age, you should just be wanting, like Donovan said, I just want to be happy. I want a companion. I want to sit up and watch TV, and I don't want to have to worry about your phone ringing and who you texting and all that. I don't want to do that. I want to live in peace. And so I think whatever brings you peace, because the peace is for you to get. It's not for somebody to bring you peace, it's for you to pursue peace. If you're not in that relationship, then that's on you, and you need to do whatever you need to do to go get peace.
It's my turn. I like to give fair warning. I'm a freak. You know what that come with. It is what it is. In the family aspect, sometimes you gotta cut them loose, do what you need to do to make yourself happy. In the relationship aspect, relationships work because you communicate. So if you're not getting the sex, man, communicate. Try to figure it out. I'm gonna be serious about that. But that's just it for me, man. I mean, what you see is what you get. I'm a freak, and ain't no telling what might go on. I mean, I'm a young porno star, but it is what it is. Just booked a phenomenal guest for the future, June 3rd. And then I'll tell you who's going to be on tomorrow. June 3rd. When Tupac got killed, there was a federal task force. And the man that ran that federal task force trying to figure out who killed Pac in Vegas was a guy named Greg Kading. June 3rd, Greg Kading going to sit in the war zone. We're going to talk Pac. We're going to find out, maybe we might get some insight on who he really believes killed Tupac. Now, this ain't no fabrication. This ain't a flunky. This ain't somebody that worked on the task force. This is the man that ran the federal task force trying to find out who killed Tupac Shakur. So that's June 3rd. But tomorrow, District 142, over there in Houston, Hal Dutton, you on the hot seat, my brother. State Rep Hal Dutton will be in the building tomorrow night. We're going to find out about this ballot harvesting, because they accused one of Dutton's former mail ballot people. Supposedly, that's the video and audio that Mr. Aubrey Taylor put out there. Mr. Dutton, if you're scared by now, get a dog. Because we're going to talk about it tomorrow night. State Rep Hal Dutton is in the building tomorrow night. District 142 in Texas. Got to get it off our mind, man. Our lineup is crazy. The month of June going to be retarded. Don King coming to the war zone. Greg Kading. Hey, man. Ran the federal task force to figure out who killed Pac. He coming to the war zone. But it ain't nothing like sitting in the zone with my good friend Donovan Sadiq and Demetra K. I'm the 5-star general. Y'all can try, but you will never be on the level of the zone. Until tomorrow night, we'll talk to you, baby.